Welcome to Vegan to Coco. This is a vegan cooking show. My name is Jess, and today we're making some pumpkin empanadas. So these are Mexican pumpkin turnovers. And we're going to start with the filling. I've got a can of pumpkin. You can use fresh pumpkin if you like. Just bake it and scoop out the good stuff and then puree it, and it should be good. But we're going to add this pumpkin to some sugar. And then I'm going to add, I've got some pumpkin pie spice, but if you don't have pumpkin pie spice on hand, you can just add cinnamon, or you can do cinnamon and nutmeg, or, add some ginger, maybe even some clove in there. Something, whatever tastes good to you. Let's get all that good stuff out of there. Okay. And I got a little bit of salt in addition to that pumpkin pie spice. So we're just going to mix that up, and that'll be our filling. So that'll be ready to go. And once we get the filling set, we're just going to set it aside while we work on the dough. This obviously doesn't take long. We're just mixing it up. Smells great already. Okay. Looks nicely combined to me. Let's put that aside. And we'll work on our filling, or excuse me, our dough. So I've got some water. Add that in. I've also got some sugar. And I have a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and also 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. And then got 2 packages of some active dry yeast. If you don't have active dry yeast, you can probably use anything else that you've got. We're just going to throw that in. Okay. And we're just going to mix that up real quick. Get it nice and combined. Okay. Little guy hanging on here. Make sure you get all the good stuff in there. Mixed up. Okay, then we're going to start adding the flour. And we're going to add this in a couple of parts. So I'm going to do first part. And you're going to put in about half of your flour. And you want to do it gradually. I'm just going to put some in, let it run. Okay, so we've gradually blended in about half of our flour. I'm going to start adding in the shortening. It's about 3/4 cup of shortening. And I cut my shortening into smaller blocks, maybe make it a little easier for it to blend in. Okay, I'm going to start putting that in. Okay, once the shortening's thoroughly mixed in, we're going to add the rest of our flour in. I'm going to start out with a couple of scoops, and then I'll gradually add the rest. Okay, so we got a nice ball of dough here. It's nice and soft. I'm actually going to divide this into 4. Okay. And I'm going to divide them into 4 again as I get going here. And so each little bit of dough is going to be one of our empanadas. And so you'll end up with about 16 empanadas from this recipe. So there we have. So I'm just going to work on getting this dough all worked out, and we're going to make little round circles that are about 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay, so I'm going to start working on that, and I'll see you back when I get that going. Okay, so I've made one little round of dough. It's about 4 inches in diameter. And so what I'm going to do is add about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of the filling. So maybe like a heaping tablespoon. I'm going to moisten the edges with a little bit of water. And then we're going to fold this over. Going to press out any air. Spread out your dough a little bit. And then we're going to press them together, 2 edges together with fork. You could use your fingers, or you can get fancy and make a design if you want, but we're just going to do it this way. Okay, so once that's together, goes on our pan, and we're going to bake them at 350 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going with our empanadas and see how they turn out when they come out of the oven. So our empanadas are fresh out of the oven. They're a little hot right now, so I'm not going to take a taste, but I'm definitely going to enjoy these later. We just cooked them until they were nice and golden brown. Took about 15 minutes. So if you'd like to try this recipe, you could do that at veganagogo.com. And if you'd like to send us an email, you can do that at fans@veganagogo.com. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.